Hey everyone, this is Dan and welcome back to my channel. So for this episode, I will be honest with you, I've been having a really hard time trying to figure out what to say for this video. But I wanted to share with you an experience that I had recently, and it had a lot to do with a client of mine that I met last year. Actually, this past season, I'm sorry. And very great guy. So he reached out to me not so long ago. He said, "Hey Dan, just want to give you a heads up. My sister is going to be joining us for Thanksgiving this year, and do you think you can try to get a detail in the day after Thanksgiving?" So I said yes to him, and of course they're coming from out of town, so I kind of took a chance on it in terms of not seeing the car beforehand. So kind of keep that in mind, right? But I also knew that it was a Yukon, which is a very large SUV. So this is a car that is used for daily life, a family, kids, you name it, pets. And I already had a really good idea of what to expect, but sometimes it's not as easy as it sounds. And when I saw the car for the first time, I walked it through with the client, with the sister. Now, in this case, the car was a lot more, let's just call it well used at this point in time, and it's been a few years since it has even seen any kind of detail or any professional cleaning for that matter. So when we went through the vehicle together, originally the plan was to get it as clean as best as possible, but sometimes there are situations where you have to really set the expectations. And the way I did that was I decided to mention to them that we need to focus on big picture right now, because what you're looking for may not be something that is feasible or achievable. And to be quite honest with you, I was a little bit afraid of having that conversation, but they were completely understandable. And that's what I love about clients like them, is that when there is a realistic expectation attached to the whole situation, that makes it a lot easier for me as a detailer. So the situation was a lot heavier than I thought, because they warned me that there was gonna be goldfish and crackers and food everywhere and toys. And again, I already had a good feeling about that. Good feeling and amount of knowledge going into it, but again, like I said, I didn't realize how much was there. So the more and more I started digging into this, I realized that I'm so glad that I had my tote with me, an empty tote, to put in all the personal belongings, put in a place to separate the trash, and also all the other things that you would find inside a family car. But what I wasn't prepared for was things like where the belt buckle is, that well area where I don't know what you want to call it. I guess we'll say, where the belt buckle lives. It's kind of like a little hole, I guess you can call it. There literally was, I kid you not, probably about half a bag of goldfish. And by the way, it was very wet and soggy, and it was just something else. But those are the things that I wasn't prepared for, and it really added a lot of time cleaning things out. I couldn't just make it look okay or good enough. I really felt like those are the areas, because they had already warned me that there was a lot of food, that they were expecting to have there was a level of expectation there that I had to achieve, and I felt that it did add a lot of time. So anyway, so how long did the detail take? So let's get to the point here. I've been doing this for about almost 10 years now, and every single year I do find myself getting a little bit more efficient and a lot faster. So with the amount of information that we have online, with all the tools I have, with all the gear that I took with me that day, just the vacuuming part of it alone took over an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, I think. And that sounds pretty excessive. Even with a drill brush and all the proper tools, I realized that there was just so much dust and debris and just crumbs everywhere, and it was not going to be easy to get things out. And again, this is a podcast. I don't really have any pictures or proof of that right now, but you just have to kind of take my word on that one. So the desire that they had was to have it to, they wanted to have the results about 85% of the way, which is fantastic because, again, they went into it knowing that they had to have some realistic expectations. Again, something that I love. So there were some challenges along the way besides just the vacuum part. There was just gum in a few spots. I had to lift up some panels. I got into the wheel well area and there was just a lot of sticky residue, and part of that was not really planned for. I mean, I guess you can expect it when it's a family vehicle, but not the amount that I found in this thing. And what ended up happening was I had to use some heavy duty, I even had to use a little bit of tar remover to safely remove parts of the gum, and then I went in with other things, and eventually it came out and it was fine. So that adds to the time of it. And there were some things that I had to do to change my process and technique. But all in all, I would say once everything was said and done and I got them the results that they were looking for, I originally told them, oh yeah, it's just gonna be about 4 hours, maybe 5. This thing took me over 6 hours, and that's with experience. So that's something they had to take into consideration is if you are hiring for a detailer, now in this case, I only was referring to the interior cleaning. So we can talk about time for the other services I offer in the future. But for now, for the sake of this conversation, we're considering the interior cleaning. So anyway, going back to my point here. With the experience that I have, it took me over 6 hours. Now, if you are hiring a detailer who's new to the game, or even maybe with 1 or 2 years of experience, I'll never forget the first time a vehicle took me 8 hours, and I've only gotten better since then. So the way I would equate this is with experience, if it took me 6 hours to do this, if I was new to this whole thing, I guarantee you I would have been at least 8.5, maybe 9 hours and not even make a dent with what they were looking for. And I know that sounds excessive, but it really, the point of this video too is really to demonstrate how much the amount of soiling and debris and whatever's inside a car, it just demonstrates like the more there is to do a vehicle, the more it's going to take it. I mean, it sounds pretty logical, but sometimes a lot of people don't understand that concept, and that's okay. So that's why I'm here to kind of explain that to you. But all in all, when everything was said and done with one set of floor mats, and notice I said one set of floor mats because sometimes a car would have even 2 or even 3 sets of floor mats for whatever reason, and that's fine, you do you. But those things add to the timing of it. And in addition to that, it was cold outside, so I was able to get the job done in that weather, and then I was so happy that I got it done before it started to even snow. So again, I am in New England. Actually, in this particular case, I was working at a client's house in Kittery, Maine. So just kind of give you an idea where we are. So I think that's it for now, and I hope you like my new setup, by the way. I know it's not the most ideal thing, but I wanted to start a podcast, and I think just having a place where the environment is controlled is something that I've been wanting to do. So anyway, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.